I wanted to go because John Muir's been my childhood hero, a 19th century Scotsman who changed our view of nature. Sam said he'd come if he didn't have to navigate. This is my story about John Muir, explorer, naturalist, mystic. He saved California's redwoods and Yosemite Valley. His vision inspired the first national parks in the world. We often know what great men and women accomplished, but not how they started off. I wanted to tell this young Scotsman's story, his conversion from farm boy to wilderness sage, by retracing his first great journey, a 1,000-mile walk through the American South in 1867, 2 years after the Civil War ended.
Just give me some pictures anyway.
Forget walking in the USA today. You need wheels, at least 2.
It's a great machine.
A wonderful, wacky 77-year-old neighbor offered me his motorcycle.
Get on it, right? Right? And just get on it, right? Nail it. Second gear, 85.
With my friend's remarks in mind, I sensed Sam and I would have an unusual trip. The journey began in Louisville, Kentucky, and would carry me 1,000 miles south to Cedar Key, Florida.
There's the railroad bridge. Maybe we ought to go and see if that's the one that Muir walked across. Looks like it might be.
John Muir's quest was to reach South America and botanize in the Lord's gardens of the tropic South, see the palms and alligators he read about as a boy. In his journal, Muir said he steered through the big city by compass and spoke to no one. He carried little, a plant press and a loaf of bread. I carry a camera and will use his journal as my compass.
Hi, Sammy.
Compare his world to mine. What would John Muir recognize today, and how much of John Muir's world could I find on the journey? He walked through Kentucky under green and towering oaks, headed south. Sam and I rode through a wilderness of a different kind.
This is just heaven out here. Finally gotten out of that city, the big city of Louisville. These small roads in the knobs of Kentucky. Windy roads. I've really been a person who's traveled mostly on rivers and in canoes. That's been the way in which I've seen the world, not been involved with machines much at all. But now that I'm on the bike and I've been riding it around, it's really an awful lot like it was in a canoe. You could think of the motorcycle as just a faster canoe, really. So in 1867, when John Muir walked through this part of the world, the idea of a car hadn't even come onto the drawing board. So he went by foot. It took him 52 days and he walked 1,000 miles. He traveled 25, 30 miles a day. In a couple of minutes, I could do 25 miles, 30 miles.
After my second long day, how could I pass by the chance to sleep in a wigwam? especially a concrete one with air conditioning.
I think they work. When did they ever start locking wigwam? Whoa! Sammy, here we are. Well, we got out of Louisville, and that was a good thing, huh? Boy, what a city. Well, Sam, here's Mr. Muir's journal. My plan was simply to push on in a general southward direction by the wildest, leafiest, and least trodden way I could find, promising the greatest extent of virgin forest. Folding my map, I shouldered my little bag and plant press and strode away among the old Kentucky oaks. How about that, Sam? What a nice thought that is. And how different